Hi there, everybody. I hope you're having a good evening. I hope to be able to navigate around here and get to. Uh, well, I had the box office chart available to me before I hit this live stream, so looks like I'm gonna have to do this all from memory with a higher per theater average than it had on Friday. If you look at Dumbo's per theater average on Friday, which means how much did it make per theater, um, it was pretty low. It's kind of embarrassingly low for these live action Disney movies, at least. But it ended up making about less than 12,000 a theater. I believe it may even be less than 11,000. I can't remember the exact figure, but higher than 10 and less than 12. In 4,300 theaters or so. So pretty much maxing out, on what's available to it, especially in a crowded marketplace with us and Captain Marvel. Um, But that's the real story of the weekend is that Dumbo, really a low number, a $45 million opening. Uh, where that will end up, it's going to take a major dip next week. I mean, Easter's coming up, so that will help them, but, 25 million probably likely for next weekend. Um, and, I've seen some of the movie. What, saw some of it, and it's really all over the place. And Michael Keaton's accent in it is horrible. So this is the box office report. But what I saw, I mean, Dumbo in the cartoons got such a clear face, hand drawn face, a smiling elephant, beautiful elephant. And this elephant looks. I don't really even know how to describe how the elephant looks. I mean, I believe there was an elephant in this Jungle Book adaptation. So it looks like it's one of them. But then also not able to, you know, how should I say, emote properly? I guess that's when I'm looking at it, I'm wondering what is it? It looks reptilian. It's an elephant. Clearly, it's Dumbo, or what they want us to think is Dumbo, because I don't feel that it's Dumbo when I'm seeing it. So I don't know. I mean, that's a movie a lot of people have an emotional connection to. The Dumbos that you can fly at Disneyland. And pretty cool, all the little elephants flying around. It seems like a real whitewashing, or take away the crows from the Dumbo story. Um, a cutting out of how the story is what I'm saying. I guess I don't even know if that how you call that whitewash. I guess it's cleaning up, gentrifying Dumbo. And the gentrification project of Dumbo is going to make it at the most 160 million domestic, more like 130 million. So like it's going to sell far less tickets than Dick Tracy did in theaters. For what it's worth, I mean, these are the kind of comparisons you're going to hear on this show. Opportunity cost and ticket prices, of course, being less back then. Would people buy a higher number of tickets for Dumbo? Uh, in the Dick Tracy comparative, if Dick Tracy was in theaters now or at that price point, all that. I don't know. I'm just saying that Dick Tracy sold more tickets, and yeah, tickets were cheaper, but it straight up did, and it straight up will more than likely over the course of the run of these movies. You got Gloria Bell really underperforming. It's a remake of a Chilean movie. It stars Julianne Moore and John Turturro. It is really struggling, very much struggling at the box office. Us had a pretty expected drop, but still, I mean, it's flying way above $100 million so far. Where Get Out was a slow roll. This one is more like an M. Night Shyamalan type film with the big mystery box opening weekend where everyone wants to come see what's inside. And then the next weekend, oh yeah, everyone's seen it, but the Lester's less, how Glass was, how Village was, Split was, Split having a little bit better legs than Glass as it is. Glass is definitely out of theaters right now. And those movies have a real unfinished quality to them that I didn't really enjoy. I'm glad to see it out. No Manches Frida. Given how much of a huge Hispanic population there is in our country, you would think that this would have been more wider released, and it's just not caught on. It's made about 11 million, I guess, so far, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Captain Marvel just trucking along, and movie that came out this weekend that really underperformed, making like around 1,300 a theater, so like 1.4 million or so overall, is Beach Bum. So between a movie called Serenity that came out earlier in the year and The Beach Bum, which is also set, in a beach or tropical locale, yeah, he's Homeboy's really struggling. He also had that one a couple years back where, obviously the Dark Tower, but another one, like the Free States of Zach or Free States of Jones, something like that, about the Jones State in Texas. Definitely sounded like a really cool concept for a movie, but he's kind of going the route that Kevin Spacey went after Kevin Spacey won for American Beauty. And I guess it's picking. Well, I love the McConaissance. He made some really good films. Mud. I would even consider Lincoln Lawyer early stages McConaissance, even though he was still making like Ghost of Girlfriends Past right then. Um, oh gosh. Um, gosh, I think that's 9 years ago. Yeah, Lincoln Lawyer came out maybe in 2010 or nine. I think Ghost of Girlfriend Past definitely not in 2009. So that's 10 years ago. Sorry, that's amazing. I can remember that like yesterday. Anyway, uh, what else you got for as far as the box office report? I don't know. I mean, Tyler Perry's now in the dropped to number 10, but it's made 70 million overall. So he just laughs all the way to the bank with those movies, man. Um, did that Christian, or I don't even know what the nomination is. All I know is a pro-life movie. Came out in theaters, and I saw some of that too. That's, geez, yeah. I mean, don't really need to get into the whole subject of that A word, but like, just because someone's that, I don't see why they want to see a story about that in a movie. Sure, not everyone goes to a movie to be entertained. I get that. You can watch whatever you want, but the way that they're making that film is not. It's boring and cloying. I'll just say that. So you could be talking about, um, you know, some really exciting subject matter, and just the way it's made still is very. I don't even know. It's very very poorly made, and poorly done. Very basic, I guess you would say. Also basic is Run the Race, which I think lost some of these theaters to Unplanned. Um, I'll go ahead and post how that one did down below. If anyone cares, just ask me. But that one, made a certain amount of money the last several weeks. I think it opened around 3 million 4 weeks ago. So yeah, it didn't really do too well. It does well in niche markets with a lot of Christian people in it. uh, yeah, when you open and have a 1,300 per screen average like that, the Beach Bum did, It's just crazy. I mean, I guess Spring Breakers was kind of a breakout hit years back now, but Harmony Korman, most of his movies really flop. And even Spring Breakers, I would think, wasn't the biggest hit. But that's kind of an issue, and McConaughey's just got to choose a better project the next time. So let's really go into these Dumbo numbers. Opens at like a $45 million even. Won't be surprised if that's tails is slightly lower, like to 42, 43, or 44, or somewhere in there. Um, People, were taking photos of empty theater screens for Captain Marvel, but obviously there were a lot of empty theater screens for Dumbo. I mean, just do the math. 11,000, 12,000 a theater. It's, you got to do a little bit better than that on opening weekend. Um, when you think about it, it sounds kind of made up. They hired Tim Burton to make a Dumbo movie. And this is the result, It's not necessarily good or bad. They spent 160 million, so it's tending towards being bad because they're going to make it back internationally. It'll probably make, between 450 or 530 million dollars overall off of Dumbo, which is not bad, but with all that, you'd be liking to be more around 500 million to 650 or even higher. So something went terribly wrong when you can't attain those numbers. It should have had a $60 million opening weekend. Anything less than that's kind of embarrassing. And this one had a $45 million one. So I don't even know what you'd put that at. I don't like to characterize the movie. I did see elements of it. I thought it looked incredibly amateurish. Obviously, Eva Green being in it, Danny DeVito, uh, kind of Danny DeVito being reduced to kind of a token weird role, in my opinion. I kind of see the whole thing in context, but I said that with Mary Poppins Returns as well, and then I just decided not to go see it. So I don't know. We'll see. What other stuff could we talk about for the box office this weekend? Well, Wonder Park finally, got kicked in the teeth pretty good, but Wonder Park had been overperforming. He's now up to 37 million. So for the end of Wonder Park's run, he'll be at like 42 to 45 million. So, I mean, that movie supposedly cost $100 million by Nickelodeon and all that. It's going to spin off into a TV show. I mean, how bad was it, I think it was pretty good actually. As far as it's, losing $50 million. No, they probably are exaggerating the. Who knows? If they lost that much, that's sad for it. But like, the writing was on the wall that they were going to lose money, and it's actually overperforming uh, humble estimates or below humble estimates. So I find that to be interesting. Because it took it on the teeth this week. I think 5 Feet Apart has now passed it. So they're both like around between 30 and 40 million. I'll verify that, but I think 5 Feet Apart could still slightly be below. But eventually, 5 Feet Apart is going to make like 55 million because it's going to have legs, and Wonder Park's going to be out of theaters within a week or two. 3 weeks. I think 5 Feet Apart could still be playing in some theaters until early June, mid May. I mean it. I mean, it's a kind of sleeper, old school movie. It just keeps legging money out. It looks horrible. You got these people in breathing machines and all this. Fuck, man. They need to really quit making these movies. For real, for real. So anyway, I don't want to dissuade anyone from seeing it because it will make more interesting box office fodder, but looks like an awful movie indeed. But Cole Sprouse, I would imagine it's going to be a box office draw going forward. If I were him or if I were his agents, I'd pick out a new leading role for him where he's not wearing on breathing bullshit, and he'd be another romantic lead in a movie. Maybe throw his brother in it. It's some kind of Parent Trap variation. I don't know. But obviously, he was in Big Daddy back in the day. The boy's grown up. It's a box office star. So that's good to see. Glad he's staying out of trouble. Keeping his trouble under wraps, at least. What else is playing? Dumbo, Captain Marvel, How to Train Your Dragon. Gonna make less than part 2 and part 1. It's losing some theaters, obviously with Shazam coming this weekend, and we'll have to see how that all goes. I mean, I'm not gonna be too harsh on How to Train Your Dragon. It's been doing pretty good. So, hey, this was our box office report. Put more specific numbers in weeks ahead, but we just wanted to give you kind of a rundown, and we'll go from there. And have a good night, everybody. Shalom. Let's see some good expectations for Shazam this next weekend. Hopefully, Shazam opens around 65 million. If it doesn't, I'll be disappointed.